unprecedented drop in subway crime. Thousands of crimes prevented. Robberies cut 3 times faster than the citywide robbery rate. Fare evasion cut in half. Subway crime at the lowest level since 1979. That's the record of the New York City Transit Police in the 1990s. They're making a huge difference in one of the toughest police beats in the country. The New York City subway is a city in itself. It has 3.5 million daily customers. That's more people that live in most U.S. cities and in half of the states. There are 5,000 subway cars in perpetual motion and 469 stations open around the clock.
It's another world.
On a busy station, you could have a train come in and dump 600 people right on top of you. There's no place to go. There's just steel bars, 4 walls.
Well, I deal with more people in a day than maybe some city cops deal with in a week.
I feel that as a transit police officer, we deal with thousands of people each day. We deal with people going to work, coming from work. We deal with students going to school and from school. We deal with them face to face.
We have a lot of tourists that come down here, and they're not really sure what they're doing. We have a lot of pickpockets looking to take advantage of them, and as a transit cop, that's something you have to really look out for.
We work out here alone, and we got to take charge of the situation, whatever the situation may be.
They don't have the ability to ride by seemingly going somewhere else in a police car. They're walking through a subway system where they can't avoid the problems that confront them day after day.
What makes the transit police so successful? Their strategy starts with police presence, the cop in uniform, on patrol, on foot.
The biggest thing you have to do is just keep moving around on the station, keep interacting with the people. If you see someone starting to have a problem, stop it before it turns out to be a major thing. Sometimes people will be edgy in the mornings, they're running late, they get into their little disputes. Stop it and leave it while it's still a dispute before it turns into an assault.
It's one-on-one. Someone walks up, stands in front of you, asks a question, requests your help. It's not something that's driven by a call to a telephone dispatcher that a police car then arrives after something's already occurred. You're there, you're in person, and you're there to help.
Plainclothes officers patrol the subway to keep criminals off balance and to catch them in the act.
Does anybody make me as a cop? So far, no.
The phrase that you hear is, "Where's the cop when I need one?" And you're there to help them. It makes them feel good. They're like, "Oh, this time, oh, here's the cop when I need one."
I put the handcuffs on him. They just kept looking up like, are you really a police officer? Are you really? And finally, I guess it hit them. And then the victim looked at me and she goes, you know, hon, I swear to God, I just didn't know you were a police officer. That's a good disguise.
Fare evasion sweeps carry plainclothes tactics one step further, stopping thousands of criminals and confiscating hundreds of weapons at the turnstiles. Using mobile arrest processing centers, police can photograph and fingerprint arrestees on the spot, check for outstanding warrants, and get right back out on patrol. By deterring fare evasion, the sweeps have also saved millions of dollars in transit revenues. School kids. If you want to keep order on the subway, you'd better be able to deal with 350,000 students who ride the trains each weekday.
A lot of kids, a lot of noise. Sometimes at one given time you can get 200 kids coming in at the same time.
Uniformed officers patrol the last 3 cars on 100 trains at dismissal times. Students travel free from harassment and fear. Transit police are building good relations through an outreach program in more than 200 schools.
We find out a lot of information, we find out the problems they're having, but it also shows the officer and the students that we can work together, right? Every other reaction they always hear with an officer probably was law enforcement. To go into a school and talk about their safety, talk about the careers, talk about gun safety, shows the student, shows the child that you really care about them.
We don't want you to become a victim. We don't want you to get hurt.
If you need help, you can count on me. I'll be your big brother. I'll be your guardian angel.
Years ago, we used to have problems in the school conditions. Kids would come in, rowdy and everything, but today it's a pleasure to work with the kids.
I thought they didn't care about no one. I thought police just gave you tickets and that's it. Now I think it's differently. They care about you and they don't want you to get hurt.
The Transit Police Explorer Scout program trains high school students in the basics of a police career.
We have two types of kids. We have the kid that always wanted to be a police officer, and in this case, a transit police officer, and we have the one that sits on the middle of the fence who doesn't really know if they want that career. But after their experiences with us, they all, 100% of them, want to become transit cops.
Relying on teamwork and technology, transit police detectives move much faster than the criminals. By pursuing every single member of robbery gangs, they've cut group robberies in the subway in half.
If we arrest one person in a crime, I'm going after the other 5 or 6 people. I'm arresting every single one of them. Out of the people that we arrest, at least 8 out of 10 are going to write out a confession and are going to give me the names of the other participants in that robbery.
Detectives work closely with patrol officers to locate criminals and gather information.
Once you do establish a rapport with the uniformed police, the information they have is astounding. Without the uniformed police officer in the Transit Police Department, we would be at a dead end because they are the eyes and ears for us.
Decoys, disguised as tourists, drunks, and other easy marks, put their bodies between the criminals and subway riders.
We put ourselves in a position to be robbed.
It's a very strange feeling to have people that close, you know, actually going through your pockets. That you must seem as helpless as you can, and that helpless feeling goes right through the decoy.
Some of the times we're most effective is when we don't get hit, because the few people who walk by that might be looking at the decoy, might be looking at chain, who say, no, that could be a cop. That's one of the most effective things we do.
The doubt
right.
that the person sitting next to you or sitting across from you may be a police officer definitely helps prevent crimes.
Yeah.
The Transit Police Warrant Squad is the best in the business at tracking down wanted felons. They've caught hundreds of criminals who've jumped bail for transit-related crimes, and they've helped capture dozens more sought in New York and across the country.
A lot of the people that we arrest are very much aware of our program, and they know that if the transit police are coming after you, they're going to get you.
But we have no other leads. Instead of saying case closed, we say, let's start back at the beginning.
A persistent two-man team of transit detectives uses quiet persuasion to solve cases that have left other investigators stumped.
You have to learn how to talk to people, how to relate to people, and you get more information this way by talking to people.
The most important thing really is to get the confidence of the people that you work with and let them know that you are a human being and you're not out to hurt anyone. This person have already committed a crime, he has already been convicted, and now you are going out to bring him back to court.
Special units back up patrol. The rescue unit is not just another emergency medical service. They're ready for anything, from a passenger trapped beneath the train to a track and tunnel search for a dangerous felon.
Nowhere else do people deal with space cases when a person slips between the platform and the car of a train. Nowhere else do they deal with people who wind up underneath the trains, sometimes through suicide attempts, at other times through mere accidents. We do that, and we do that better than any police department in this country.
It depends on the position of the person, where the wheel is on top of the person. If the person's really big, and depending on where they're wedged, you're going to have to get a higher lift. The higher you go, the more the train could lose its balance, and 77,000 pounds could topple off her, and you would derail the subway.
Emotionally disturbed people can pose a danger to themselves and others on crowded platforms and trains.
The general public has really no idea how many emotionally disturbed people are floating around the cities of New York, and then in the wintertime, the cold weather, they filter down to the subways. Homelessness, they're depressed, they lost their job.
The main thing you want to do is safety of others and get the emotionally disturbed person to the hospital in good condition.
Crowd control in a disaster. Underground, in the dark, with 600 volts of electricity everywhere.
There's no, well, ouch, you get a shock from an electric, outlet or something like that. This is instantaneous death. The only thing that's going through them is they want to get out of this enclosed area any way they can, as fast as they can. The bottom line is the people that are down there, to get them out as quickly and safely as possible without creating a larger problem that already exists.
1989, 5,000 people living in dark, dangerous subway tunnels. Transit police mount the largest police homeless outreach effort ever, anywhere. Night after night, outreach officers go deep into tunnels, offering food and transportation to shelter.
In the city, the numbers are going up, yet we've been able to bring the numbers down in the subway to less than 1,000. And just this area here alone, we've been able to improve it to where there were as many as 200 before. There were less than a dozen people here now.
We really do care about them, and we do want them to leave this area and find a better life for themselves, to actually find a shelter or a place that they can go to where they can better themselves, because obviously in this area they're going down and they'll never come out. If we don't interrupt their cycle down here, they're going to die down here.
And when you really get down to it, police work is helping people, and that's what we do here, help people.
Helping people, catching criminals, preventing crime. In the subway, it's a unique job, unlike any other kind of policing, and it takes a unique kind of training to prepare people to do it.
You just can't stick a police officer down in the subway and expect that person to function at the optimal level. The officers that are down there doing the job, they have to know what they're doing. It's not a simple environment to function in, and it most certainly is not a simple environment for a police officer to function in.
At the Transit Police Academy, recruits learn what transit policing is all about. Field training takes them into the subway with experienced officers as instructors. They work face-to-face with the public in the tight, crowded confines of stations, trains, staircases, and passageways. The transit police are using some of the most sophisticated crime-fighting technology in the country. The Intergraph computer tracks crime patterns across a dynamic electronic model of the entire subway system. The photo imaging system stores and retrieves in seconds the photos of more than 23,000 people arrested in the subway. New 9mm weapons, new radios, new uniforms, new patrol cars, new support vehicles. The transit police have invested a lot of time, money, and effort to give their officers the tools and the training to do their job right, today and into the 21st century. The transit police have the commitment. They have the equipment. But most important, they have the people.
We have community policing long before they came up with that term.
We're all over the place. I say the person you least expect, that's who's next to you. That's the police officer.
The public is entitled to it.
Love the job. I feel good about it.
So don't ever underestimate us.
I had a choice of 3 departments. I chose transit because this is where I wanted to be. And this is where I'm staying.
People have got to realize that we're a different breed, we do a different job, and we do a job very well.